Welcome in, ladies and gents, to another edition of Connecting the Dots, brought to you by Connect Child and Family Solutions. Ryan Mumma. It's Penni Ippensen right there. You're laughing hysterically. What is going on right now?
We just had a conversation of Penny.
Yeah.
Where am I supposed to be looking, Penny?
That's right.
I had this with myself, and I asked you. I said, "Hey, where am I supposed to be looking at? You,
Right.
you're used to this. This is your forte.
Sure.
This is not my forte." And I caught myself just looking at you because it was more entertaining to watch you talk.
That makes you know what, and that's fine.
It was really. I don't
You
know who I'm
know?
looking at over there. I'd rather look at you.
You'd rather listen.
Yes, I did. Oh,
There it is. Look
Ah,
at that.
nice
See?
plug in.
Every
Welcome.
once in a while.
Yes.
But no, again, big shout out to Connect Child and Family Solutions for obviously making this podcast possible. Ryan Mumma, Penni Ippensen as well. And, we're back for episode 4. Definitely sound but feel better. Good God.
you were struggling, and I
Yes.
didn't realize how bad you were at the last episode.
I put on a brave face.
Until I listened to it. I'm like, oh my, he didn't sound good. And you pushed through it. Man,
That's
you
right.
pushed through it. But you look so much better. You sound so much better.
Appreciate it.
You have your energy back. You got that Ryan energy back. That's good.
Yeah, well, I think it's a good thing. I don't know how my wife feels
I was
about it,
gonna
but doctors do wonderful things. Let's just say it that way. But I digress. All right, so let's talk today. As obviously it's a podcast, we're going to talk today. Penni, I want you to explain what this is, mainly because, well, it was your idea, and kind of what spurred this whole topic idea on, and just give us the breakdown.
Today's topic.
Yes.
Yes, today's topic.
Yes.
Okay, I don't know, because we usually have a conversation the day before, a text conversation, you and I, about, hey, what are we going to talk about? And I was kind of like mentally preparing for that text, because you usually send it to me.
That's right.
And I'm like, okay, I know he's going to ask me, what are we going to talk about? And then all of a sudden, I was like, listening. The art of listening. I actually think there is a book titled The Art of Listening, but I'm not 100% sure about that.
Okay.
But
Not by Penni Ippensen, but by somebody else.
but we could write one.
You never know.
Oh, that would be awesome.
That's a good
okay.
point.
So, just listening. I just think listening is the basis for any conversation with any person.
Yes.
It doesn't matter if it's a coworker, if it's your spouse, if it's your friend, if it's your parent, and also if it's your children. Because I think people sometimes don't take time. It's easy to overlook, let me rephrase that. It's easy to overlook listening to your children. Because if you listen to your children, you understand their heart.
Yeah.
If you listen to your spouse, you understand them. And I just think there's so much to be said about that. I think we could talk forever on this.
Yeah.
But that's my Penni Ippensen thinking. Of course, this is built from a lifetime of experience because I'm not your age, and nor am I old. And
No.
secondly, from being a therapist.
I was gonna say, yeah. It's all you do, really.
It is. It was so much about just, I'm very direct. Shut up and listen.
Yeah.
Just shut up and listen. And it's hard. I could just keep talking.
Please.
Sorry.
No, do, please. I'm listening, Penni. This is just me. I just want to listen.
Thank you.
Let's do it here. Yes.
Because you have to, when you listen, you have to not think about what you're going to say in response.
That's a good point.
Does that make sense?
That's a very good point. Yeah. No, I think there's a lot in there that I think is phenomenal. The first thing that comes to mind for me is the listening to your kids part. I struggle with this, and I think a lot of parents do. We as parents, how do you say it? Not your way or the highway, but like it's much easier for you to say, all right, this is what we're doing, done, over, I rule, we're going to move on, right? That sounds harsh, but you get what I mean.
But I kind of am that way sometimes.
Right.
That's
like
my
this
style a little bit.
This is what we're doing.
Let's go. My way. Let's go.
But
But
there are times where, just listening to your kid, if they're feeling a certain way, you can make them feel better. And we're at a point now in the Mumma house where, my twins are 4. Very independent. I've said that multiple times on this show. But where you can tell that they want a voice, and not as if I don't want to have them have one or give them one. If I don't listen because it's bedtime and it's like, all right, let's just go, like get into bed. There have been times where like I slow down for a minute and I go, well, hon, what's wrong? Because they're a little upset. They don't want to go to bed. Like, let me hear you, right?
I like that.
And so you let them kind of talk, and then you, in a calmer way, and again, I want this to be known. I'm not perfect at this. This is just like a one-time Ryan Mumma was like, hey, let me do it right this time. You listen to them, and it's like, well, hon, like, I know you don't want to go to bed, but we have daycare tomorrow. Mom and Dad have to go to work tomorrow. Let's go snuggle in bed. I'll be there with you. So on and so forth.
I love it.
And last night specifically, just kind of talking with them, or even, talking with them in the sense of, hey, I need you to be a big listener today, or whatever, right? I know it's not the listening, but it's in a sense, right?
Absolutely.
Kind of giving them that independence. It helped, and last night's put down was much easier than what the Mumma house has been enduring since adding little baby brother into the mix and 3 against 2 and all that stuff. Now, again, does that mean it's going to be perfect tonight? No. But just that little subtlety of listening, I think, it definitely helped yesterday. And when you were explaining all that, it came to mind.
So let me add to that. When it comes to children and listening, don't mistake it with if you listen to them, they get their way.
Sure.
Because you still trump. You're still, there's still a hierarchy. It's just you can still listen to them. But what you did do was beautiful. You explained why. Why we were going to do it, quote, quote, my way.
Right.
But you can still listen to them and understand them. Because oftentimes, don't you think we all just want to be heard?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So it's funny. Sorry.
No.
So my twins, obviously with them being the same exact age, that's what happens when you're twins, they like to talk at the same time. And they've done it, and they've done this now since really they started talking. They learned the phrase, let me talk. And they'll say that to the other kid because, like, they'll be telling me this wild story that, honest to God, makes no sense whatsoever, but in their mind it does, right? And they are just going to town with it. But the other one jumps in, and then it's like they get frustrated. It's like, sissy, let me talk. So, like, we make it, or at least I do, and I know the wife does as well, we make it a point to sit there and go, oh, hold on. We'd go to the one twin, like, let sissy talk.
Love it.
Because I think the listening part is, and I know I gave the example of, like, going to bed and, like, you talked about, like, you're not letting them get their way. Sometimes it is just letting them kind of have a moment to sit there and just babble.
Yes.
Just talk.
Yes.
How was your day? Tell me about it. And honestly, it may not make any sense what they're talking about.
They're just getting it out there.
They're just letting everything roll because it's been everything that they've done today.
Yes.
It probably isn't in the correct chronological order, but you're just letting them talk.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden you act excited or you give an emotion back and you hear them. And it is wild when you let that happen, how like their emotion is like, oh my gosh, Daddy's listening to me. Like, it's a huge thing.
In addition to them learning how to communicate, them understanding their emotions, them processing their day, but it's also so much more than that. They're learning how to communicate better. They are building self-esteem and confidence. I mean, there's so many more benefits to this. We see this in the little 2-year-old grandson. He could sit there and just rattle throughout what all happened that day. And it's fascinating. Sometimes you can't always completely know what he's talking about, but you get it, and it's so good for him.
Yes.
Let's shift ever so slightly.
Please.
So we're talking about little people. So when it comes to listening, I guess another thought that I had, even though I didn't realize that until just now, was with all adult children, and they're all daughters, at my house, I catch myself doing this, and I know we all do this. We finish each other's sentences. Because I think we just know each other so well. But you know what I'm doing? I'm not listening.
Yeah.
I'm not listening. And so I've had to be aware of that. It's like, she's going to say exactly what I just said, but it doesn't mean I need to interrupt her. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I just find that so interesting. And I told her the other day, I said, I got to quit doing that. It just seems like it's so natural that when we're all together, we just yickety yak. And to go back to what you're saying, with girls, they can chatter.
Oh my
And
gosh.
there's some study that says, and I'm going to butcher it, it's like for every 100 words a girl says, a boy says 10.
Oh, yes.
And I think there's a lot to that. But you just letting them talk,
Yeah.
and even as they're adults, letting them talk. And I catch myself sometimes just finishing it just because we all know what each other's going to say.
Right.
Because we're just that close.
Yeah.
So
You've been around each other a lot.
Oh, yes.
Of
yes,
course, right?
Yes.
That's a great point. Sorry, you caught me listening, and I don't have a rebuttal. Because it's great points. It really is. Because, again, where I'm at in life, where you're at in life, obviously different, with everything. And even little man, for our side, who's now 18 months. In the short couple of weeks that we've had him, a lot of people have said, like, they've noticed a difference in him in the sense of, like, how much he's talking, or his babbling or whatever, and, doing certain things. But a lot of that has to do, and we did the same thing with the girls. And I'm sure you did as a parent. I'm sure people listening do. And if you don't, like, when it's so fascinating to me when your little son or daughter is babbling at an age of just 1, right? And they are just blah, 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 and making all these kinds of noises. You simply saying, "No way. Wow. Oh my gosh.
Tell me more.
Like, tell me more. Do this, do that." Like, you be surprised. And we noticed it with the girls, and it's the same thing with little man. Like, he talks more and, like, he communicates more. Have no idea what he is talking about in his tiny mind, but you are interacting with him, and that has to, I'm sure, go along the lines of the listening.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think you're planting the seeds for what I was saying, which thank you for tying it all together, which is you're planting the seeds for a long-term relationship of understanding each other and knowing each other and having an open communication when they get older.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I think that's powerful.
Now, I want to switch it up because obviously it's not just from a kid's standpoint, but we have spouses and things like that. Talk about that form of listening. Like, I'm assuming it's the same, like you're still listening, but I'd have to imagine that it's different because you're talking about, your significant other, within your life.
I think for me, on a professional level, what I saw a lot of is people had difficulty listening because they wanted to be heard so bad. Not hurt.
Yeah.
Heard.
Absolutely.
So badly that they talked consistently to try to be understood or heard.
Makes sense.
Which then, as a result, the other spouse would do the same.
Yeah.
So then you just get into this conversation battle that wasn't even a conversation per se. It was just talk, but nobody's taking time to understand.
Sure.
Which means, it goes back to what I said before, you gotta shut up. Not only shut up your mouth,
right?
Which I know they say you're not supposed to say shut up. You're not saying it to them directly.
But, right.
Or to yourself. You're just shutting up. Just shut up for a second.
Stop.
And think about what they're thinking. Think about what they're feeling. I think that is so important. And it gets in the way because we do get so consumed with ourselves.
Yes.
And we get so focused on, you need to understand it from my perspective. Yes, that needs to happen. But you also need to understand it from their perspective. And I think it's so hard. And I also think that kind of, you can see that in society too, where we do more talking to people than listening to people.
It's not a discussion anymore.
Yes.
It's my way or the highway kind of thing, and that's a whole other road I can go down. From something that I believe in the sense of I'm a talk radio host, like I talk for a living. But I'll get to that later. I want to stay on the board of the spouse thing. I have to imagine too. There's the nonverbal listening.
Nice, good point.
Right, because and me and my wife have been together for 10 years, and that obviously is like dating and marriage, so 10 years total. I'll be honest, there's still nonverbal cues that I don't pick up on. And I think that's just me being a guy. It's just the reality, right? But knowing my wife, like knowing when she's stressed or something's bugging her or something's going on, and like trying to help, so like trying to pick up on nonverbals, I'm sure, is a very important part of the listening aspect as well.
Two parts, yes.
Yeah.
The person has to listen and be aware of those nonverbals, but also the person who's doing the nonverbals needs to be aware you're doing nonverbals.
That's right.
Does that make sense?
That makes total sense.
Because my go-to is I tend to kind of get quiet and I just kind of walk away, which is fine.
Yeah.
But always not all fine. Sometimes it's not fine. Whereas my husband, and we've been together longer than 10.
Right.
I sat there thinking, I'm not even going to say how long, but it's been a wiggle and a
shake.
A
little bit longer. Just a little bit longer.
His is more of like, his nonverbals are, I guess it's kind of verbal, but it's not. How do I stop that breathing thing?
Oh my God.
But you know what? I'm just as guilty. I kind of go.
Oh, you get the look. You get the look.
Oh, I've got a good look.
Oh,
even my kids talk about, Mom,
Looks
there's that
could
look.
Kill.
But they always got it. I don't know about you, but we're sitting in the church pew. I'm not saying anything, but I'm giving you the death glare of like one more move and we're out and you're not going to be happy. And they have sent me little Instagram videos of like the mom doing the
100%.
The knockdown, you better knock it off look.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I had a good one. My husband always said I had a very good stare. But his words are powerful.
Yeah.
So, you just know how to work with it. I'm glad he had those very powerful, like this. Oh, my God, paying attention,
Right.
Whereas for me, it's more like if I stared you down, then the kids were paying attention.
Yeah.
That makes any sense.
Be prepared because Mom's not happy right now.
What are your nonverbals?
It's funny. I don't know. I don't know.
Ask your kids.
I'm going to have to. I'm going to have to. Well, maybe. Well, I'm trying to think. I know my wife would probably be able to pick out a lot of them. I almost wonder, too, like if we don't necessarily notice them, like ourselves. Is that fair? Like you might be feeling a certain way, but you don't necessarily, because again, I'm still young in the parenting category and even, heck, the marriage category. Again, we've been together for 10 years, but we've been married for 4 years. Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, it sounds about right. Or it's coming up on 4 years. In August. I remember the month.
Job.
That's right. 20th. That's right. Got to remember that. But anyways, that's an important thing. All you dudes out there. I don't even know where I was going with that. But no, you're still so young in this whole thing that like I don't necessarily know if I know my nonverbals. I mean, I kind of if I start to get maybe a little upset, I guess maybe I'd go to like I kind of shut down. Like I kind of go quiet as well. I just kind of do whatever. So like if I'm told to do like a project or like I need to do something and it's not the way that I necessarily thought I needed to do it or whatever the case, I'll just be like, yeah, okay, I'll just do that. Like, okay. Like I just kind of, all right, yeah, whatever. Like, and I just kind of, I shut down, but I don't shut down. And then my wife's like, well, no, that's not what I'm saying. Like and I'm like, no, it's fine. We were going to do this. And then she's like, well, no. And of course she kind of reels it back and all that stuff. And she's beautiful at that, but
yes, she is.
I don't know. Yeah, that would be mine.
But I think the thing is, you got to know that you. Okay.
Now you're doing it.
You got to know you're doing it, and if somebody's telling you you're doing it, especially your spouse, I would assume there's a good chance you're doing it.
Absolutely.
I mean, there may be those exceptions, but I would assume you're doing it.
Oh yeah.
So it doesn't mean it's okay.
Yeah.
But it's good to be aware of it because that's part of the listening. That's part of the communication.
Well, and I think
right?
I have to imagine too. And I struggle with this as well. I am a very much like, so me and my wife love her to death. We are opposites in the sense of, I want to resolve the situation right away. Whereas in her way of doing it, she wants to kind of let it sit. And that has been like and I say struggle, but that's not like a struggle, but like it's been something that we as a couple have constantly worked on in the sense of like, if I did something to you, Penny, I want to go up to you and be like, I'm really sorry. Do you please forgive me. Like that's my fault. I want to get it resolved. I don't want to let it fester. And I don't know if fester is the right word, but I don't want to let,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Whereas the wife's like, you got to give me space. Let me process this. And I struggle at times letting that happen because I am the opposite of that. But it is definitely something that I, as an individual, continue to work on because, well, that's something, listening to my wife, that is something that she appreciates. And I'm trying. I am not perfect at it, but I am trying to get better with it.
But don't you think that's a good example of where you're meeting in the middle?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you know what you need,
Sure.
but you know what she needs, and those don't go together. And so in order for them to go together, you have to meet in the middle.
Yes.
So you have to wait.
Mm-hmm.
She has to have her space, but she has to come back. She cannot not come back.
Right.
And obviously she does.
Right.
So, yeah. But it's the art of listening, though.
That's part of it, yeah.
That's listening and getting out of yourself a little bit to be aware of what the other person is needing.
100%. 100%. No, I agree. I just, it's something that I think we as people will constantly need to work on. We're never going to be perfect at it. And it goes back to, the sports talk guy in me where I talk for a living. Like I literally speak into a mic for 2 hours every day. Here I am talking into another mic. But listening is something that I have always tried to incorporate into my shows, I guess you could say, or like my profession. I'll say it that way. Because we are a society that has grown into a struggle of like, it's my opinion, it's right, I'm not listening to you. And I don't like that. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. You got an opinion, I got an opinion. And it's all fine. I want everyone to have an opinion. But if we can't have a constructive conversation of listening, that's what we lose.
Absolutely.
And so I have a sports talk show. So like I have an opinion on this. But Penny may have a completely different way of looking at that sports take. See, I'm going to put you in the sports category. You may have a completely different look on that. Does that mean you're wrong? No.
Right.
You don't agree with me. Let's talk about it. And I'd rather have more of those conversations, and that's just sports-wise, but like more of those conversations of like, just because you don't agree with me doesn't mean you're wrong.
Correct.
Just means that you have a different opinion. Let's talk about why you feel that way. And let's have a constructive conversation. And we lack with that because we don't listen.
So how do you listen in the radio show? I like what you said, and I think that is so interesting. I kind of know where you're going to go with it. But I love that. And I want you to answer this. But for me, my profession has only been listening.
Sure.
And I find it fascinating because sometimes I feel like I have trouble talking just because I am more comfortable listening.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
100%.
And it's just something I've morphed into after doing it for 35 years or whatever. You just listen. And I had to listen. But for yours, that's fascinating. I love that you still have to listen even though you're doing all the talking.
Oh, yeah.
And you're listening right now.
Yes.
Even though it's natural for you to talk. I don't know. Okay, go.
No, I think it's great. My biggest thing is I've always said with my show, WGN Sports Center, here in Quincy. That's right, 7 to 9 a.m., weekday mornings. I always want to make it, and I've always tried to make that show, I say it in this way. It's two dudes talking sports at a bar. When you're at a bar, you're sitting there at a bar stool, you're just chatting. You're chatting about whatever sports topic, and you're having just a laid back, fun. Yeah, we can get a little serious, but like it's that kind of conversation. And within a conversation like that, you have to listen. It's not just you talking. Hey, so whenever I have people that come on the show or text my show or whatever, it's like, hey, yes, I have this platform where I am the voice going into the microphone and speaking to you wherever you're at. It doesn't also mean, and I always try to stress this, I'm not right about everything. Like, this is my opinion. This is what I have read. This is what I have learned. I'm going to let you know what I'm thinking, right? Here's my thought on that topic. But I'm not completely right on everything. I might believe I'm right because of what I know, but that doesn't mean that whatever you say is wrong. So I always encourage people, like, give me your opinion. If it's different than mine, I want to hear it.
Right.
And why is that? Why do you feel that way? Again, asking the why of the listening. And I think it's important because I am very blessed with the platform that I have. But I know there are a lot of people that listen to me every single day that enjoy it, but I want to give them a space to be like, hey, if you got an opinion, let's talk. Let's have that chit chat. Let's have that conversation. And I think I've never wanted it to be a space of like, you're tuning into Ryan Mumma. Ryan Mumma knows gospel. No,
right.
I don't know any. I don't know. No, that's not me.
Right.
Let's chat, and I want to listen to you.
But But I think what you're also saying applies to everything, which is your profession very well.
Sure.
And you're right in your opinion, but you welcome other opinions that might make your opinion change ever so slightly, or improve your opinion, or however you want to look at it, because you will grow. Your opinion is not stuck in concrete. Your opinion can mold and shape because of what you learn and hear from other people.
Yes.
That makes sense?
And I love that full circle because, as parents, as a spouse, as whatever, like, I do that in my profession every day, but doesn't mean I'm perfect at it, obviously, at home, because I'm still growing, in that regard. But yeah, I mean, if you use that as a basis, right? Like, Penny's got an opinion, Ryan's got an opinion. Let's talk about it, and why is that? And I know some people might even look at that as like, why do we have to talk about it? Well, maybe it's not even talking about it. Maybe it's necessarily, again, it's the listening aspect of going, you just simply listening to Penny's opinion, or again, your significant other's opinion, right? And hearing them out. Doesn't mean you have to have a full-blown conversation. I understand that. But again, being willing to understand where somebody else is coming from. And I think if we as individuals can do better at that, boy, would this world be a little better.
Wouldn't it be great? And I'm just thinking, sometimes people have opinions on things they don't need to have opinions on.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So this morning I was talking to my husband, and I'm like, hey, throw out some topics that would be great, just from your perspective, which is not our perspective. It's on the outside.
Yep.
And he said, why don't you talk about, I'm going to butcher this, the New York Knicks winning the title after 53 years. Did I say it right?
You did.
Thank you.
It was very nicely done.
I did watch it. I did watch the end. I thought it was pretty cool because I wanted to watch all the excitement afterwards. So anyway, why am I going there? Okay, I laughed when he told me this because I'm like, you want me to bring that up to Ryan? He probably already talked about that 110 times.
That has nothing to do with what we're talking about here today.
But it was funny. But it was funny because I wanted to hear his outside view.
Sure.
And at the same time, I don't know a lot about it. I don't have an opinion about it. I don't need to have an opinion about how amazing that is that after 53 years they won.
Right.
But you can have an opinion, and guess what? I'm going to run with yours.
Sure.
Because I don't need to have an opinion.
Right.
You follow me on that?
I am, yeah, because you listened, and again, you're using me, but like you listened to me in the sense of what my opinion was on a certain topic or subject, and not that you're just going to use that, but you're like, okay, I can see why that's important to you. And again, you use that as the listening aspect. I'm picking up what you put down.
Yeah, okay, then let's go back.
Yeah.
You can get pretty animated. Let's go back, because you were talking about when it was time to put the little ladies down to bed.
Yeah.
And you sometimes just have to stop and listen to why they're feeling the way they're feeling, why they're not wanting to go to bed, or blah, 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 blah. Because at that point, maybe it doesn't really matter why you think they need to go to bed.
Sure.
It might matter more why they don't want to go to bed. There we go.
And that was the other thing.
Tie-in?
I love that.
Thank you.
It was very nice and very animated, as you said, too. I mean, it's
very animated.
Very nice. Because, and to go back to that, again, one of the reasons they didn't was, again, like any kid, scared of the dark, and they didn't want to be in their room by themselves. And so that's when I was like, well, Daddy is going to come snuggle you guys and lay down in your room with you and, kind of help you soothe yourself to fall asleep. And they eventually did, and then that was it. I may have fallen asleep on the floor for like an hour, but it's fine. Till the wife came and got me. But
sleep too.
It is. It really is. But anyways, and I heard them out, with what they needed. And so, it all ties in. It really does. And I think, again, if we can do better with that, man, would it be so much better. So much better. So you must be a professional at listening then. I mean, you talk about from a therapeutic standpoint. I mean, you're a professional.
Yes.
You know.
Well, of course, because I had to be.
Well, I was going to say.
Otherwise, I would not have been a successful therapist. Because if a therapist talks too much,
that's true.
What are you gaining?
What are we doing? Let me ask you this, because again, as we continue through this podcast space and like getting to know one another, and obviously I know quite a bit about you from working and stuff like that, but how's it been for you being a big listener to now having a platform where you have to talk? Like, how has that been?
That's very challenging.
Sure.
How many times have I told you, you
Yeah.
start, you start,
Yeah.
you start? Because I don't know how to do that quite yet.
Sure.
I'm getting there.
Yeah.
Because I'm learning from you.
That's right.
But yeah, it's a growing experience.
It's different.
But I have always had a platform inside a room very similar to this with 2 chairs, but it never had a camera, and it never went outside of that room.
Sure.
Unless somebody took it out there. I could never take it out there, because it's confidential.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just very interesting watching this morph inside of me. And I love it. I think we all have something to share. I think we all have something to learn. And I have a wealth of experience. I mean, I do. I mean, I'm not trying to brag. It's just the facts,
Just brag a little bit, no big deal.
I mean, I've been doing it a long time.
Right.
So it is different, and I'm learning a lot.
Yeah.
I think the first episode, this one, I hope it's better.
I think so. And again, it's
thank you.
It's definitely. I do. I mean, and that's what I think I've really enjoyed so far about this show, as we wrap things up here, has been just obviously the relationship, right, that we have, and neither one of us. I mean, yes, you are a professional in what you have done in life. I'm a professional in what I have done in life. But neither one of us in the space of being a parent, spouse, whatever, are a professional. We're all growing and learning together. And I think what's cool and has been cool about this show so far, and again, will continue, is it's just us talking in the sense of like not only experiences, but let's get real. Like, again, I'm going to give you what I've done, but it doesn't mean Ryan Mumma is a professional.
No, right.
Penni Ippensen is, doing her thing as obviously a mom and has done that, but now a grandmother. Are you perfect at it? Absolutely not. But you're gaining the experience, and like, let me share that with you. And here's what I learned, and maybe that hopefully helps somebody else out there that might be going through something that's very similar.
Well, I think I'm the professional who also did it on the front lines.
Correct.
And then you get to listen to what you or I am saying, and then you apply it to yourself. Right. You tweak it and you apply it to yourself. But I think it's just so important to listen to each other as we wrap it up. Yeah. Look, I'm going to try to do this.
Look at you.
As we listen to each other, because I think that is so incredibly important. So I challenge everybody to go out and listen to each other, which means what? Shut your mouth.
That's right.
Am I too direct?
No,
Ryan?
no.
Now, don't go saying that to your wife.
No,
I'm pretty
God,
sure you should
don't.
be just pushed aside.
Yeah.
If you tell your wife, now shut up.
Yeah, we're not doing that. No.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Please
Nor
don't.
do you need to say to your children.
No.
You can say stop. You can say hush. You can say all those kind of things. But you don't need to say shut up.
Yeah, no.
You can feel it.
You might need to
say it with your face.
Right.
But you better not say
the
it out
nonverbals.
loud. Yeah.
No, I like that. Go out and listen to people.
Go out and listen. Even if it is, I went to a department store here in Quincy. Feel free to figure out which one it is.
Yeah.
Wow. It just takes a lot of listening, and it takes a lot of patience. There's people everywhere that need to be listened to. Am I making any sense, Ryan?
100% you are.
Are you?
100%,
okay. So
yes.
if you're walking into a store and somebody's looking angry, listen.
Yeah.
Listen and just keep going, and maybe give them a smile. Maybe because then you're listening and responding.
That's a great point. Look at you. Penni Ippensen, I tell you. There it is. Go out and listen. That's our, obviously, homework assignment. I didn't think you were going to get homework here
I do like homework.
on the show, but we got it for you.
Okay.
That's Penni Ippensen. I'm Ryan Mumma. This has been Connecting the Dots. Again, shout out Connect Child and Family Solutions. You all have a great rest of your day.